get it. Is everyone ready?
VTR ready?
Yo, ready. Boys ready.
You all ready? Okay, good. Let's make it a good one, guys.
Cameron's ready. Boys ready.
Yep.
Talent's ready.
This is being taped, so.
Is Isaiah ready?
Steven,
I don't know
make
if
sure
I'm
you're
ready.
ready
No, just kidding.
and
Heck
the
yeah, I'm
mic's
ready.
open because last time they cut it off.
Are you recording this one?
Yep.
Okay? 1 minute.
Bye-bye.
Even though, is Jeff alone now?
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, ask him if he's taping my tape. If my tape is taping.
Go, Jill. Go, Jill.
Yes,
45
he is.
seconds.
Okay, sounds good. Alright, 45 seconds, guys. Alright, quiet on the set. Alright, let's get it. Ready? Fade to black. Fade
5,
audio.
4, 3, 2.
Ready? VTAR 1. Vote
1.
VTAR 1 and take VTAR 1.
Coming up next on Nightly News,
CGN.
hear what President Obama says about the future of
CGN.
human
Ready?
spaceflight
VTAR
at the
2. Vote
Kennedy
VTAR
Space
2
Center.
and take VTAR 2.
And find out what Governor Charlie Crist's final
Ready,
decision is
VTAR
on the
3.
controversial Senate Bill 6.
Vote VTAR
Nightly
3.
News starts
Take
now.
VTAR 3. Okay, we're going to go to camera 2.
With?
And take it.
Good afternoon and welcome to Nightly
Ready,
News.
camera
I'm
3.
Raquel Rodriguez.
And I'm Lisa Robbins.
CGN.
Today we're bringing you the news from the week of April 16th.
And take it. Ready? VTAR 1.
Teachers around
With?
the state can breathe a sigh of
Vote
relief.
VTAR 1.
Governor
Take
Charlie
VTAR 1.
Crist vetoed the controversial teacher merit pay bill yesterday afternoon,
Ready? VTAR
also
2.
known as Senate Bill 6. The bill passed the Florida
CGL.
legislature last week despite numerous protests from educators and parents. Educators said
With?
that the bill was unfair because it based teacher pay on student performance instead of teacher experience. Seminole Education Association President Gay Parker says congratulations came pouring in.
Vote VTAR 2 and take VTAR 2. Ready to cue talent?
CGL?
Cue talent.
Governor Charlie
Ready, camera
Crist says
3.
opposition from teachers, parents, and school boards across Florida helped make his decision.
And take it.
And President Obama makes a stop in Central
Ready,
Florida
remote.
to address the future of the space program. Nightly News reporter Chad Mills was with the president yesterday and joins us now in the newsroom. Chad?
Take it.
Raquel, President Obama does plan to increase NASA funding by
Ready,
about
VTR
$6 billion over a 5-year period, but that
With?
money may not necessarily go to the manned spaceflight program. Of course, there are about 7,000 people out at Kennedy Space Center who could lose their job at the end of this year when the shuttle does retire, so those people were definitely watching when the president
Vote
spoke
VTAR 3
yesterday.
and take VTAR 3.
It wasn't Atlantis, Endeavour, or Discovery touching down at Kennedy Space Center shuttle landing facility yesterday
Yeah.
morning. Air Force One landed, marking the first presidential visit to Kennedy Space Center since Bill Clinton watched a shuttle launch carrying veteran
There you go.
astronaut
That looks
John
good.
Glenn 12 years ago. This time, the president came for different reasons.
Now, the challenges facing our space program are different, and our imperatives for this program are different than in decades past.
President Barack Obama made official what many people predicted he would say. He told a group of 200 industry leaders, politicians, and
Yeah, I'm gonna
students
go
that the
back to your
Constellation program would have to go for simple reasons.
The old strategy, including the Constellation program, was not fulfilling its promise in many ways. That's not just my assessment.
However, the president did mention that parts of Constellation could be adapted to meet other needs. For instance, he said the Orion capsule should be converted into a vehicle that could escape from the International Space Station in case of emergency. He also proposed building a heavy lift rocket that would employ additional workers and keep America competitive in space exploration.
And that's how we will ensure that our leadership in space is even stronger in this new century than it was in the last.
Senator Bill Nelson flew in Air Force One with the president. He says Congress may tweak parts of the plan, but overall he was satisfied.
CGN.
This is the most visionary speech
CGL.
since President Kennedy said we're going to the moon and back.
Astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson was excited as well, but said the plan cuts out returning to the moon and aims directly for Mars, which he says could be unwise.
You don't go to the moon as the next destination. You go to the moon as just a natural next place in your total effort to return to space.
However, that did not change his mood about the plan as a whole, which he hopes will soon become a reality.
And I'm sure I'm not alone in this hope, is that the vision as laid out is something that Congress will support, the American people will support, and it becomes a real vision statement, not only for NASA, but for the nation.
And take remote.
The U.S. will depend on Russia
Ready,
to
camera
get
one.
to the ISS at the end of this year when the shuttle does retire. The President talked about how important the private sector will be in filling that gap. Live in the newsroom, Chad Mills, UCF Nightly News.
And take it.
Thank you, Chad.
Ready, VTR
In other
one.
news, a local girl is recovering after spending 4 days alone in the woods.
Roll VTR 1, take VTR 1.
11-year-old Nadia Bloom wandered into the woods
Ready,
near her
VTR
home
2?
in Winter Springs last Friday. After a 4-day search effort, a volunteer from her church found Nadia Tuesday morning. Officials say that Nadia is doing well and
Roll
should have a
VTR 2
quick
and
recovery.
take VTR 2. Ready to cue talent?
How she survived, only she'll know, and as the story
CG out.
more open, but she's done remarkably well. She looks very, very good for the days that she spent out there, and I think she'll continue to do well.
Cue talent.
Nadia
Ready,
was
camera
transferred to
one,
Arnold
OTS.
Palmer Hospital Tuesday afternoon, where she will stay for observation for several days.
And take it.
Putnam County authorities are
camera
now
3.
saying that they believe missing girl Haley Cummings is dead. Putnam County Sheriff Jeff Hardy announced that the case is now a murder investigation. The new information comes after a tip led authorities to begin a new search effort along the St. Johns River on Tuesday.
And take it. Ready, VTR 3.
Meanwhile, China prepares to airlift
Roll
hundreds
VTR
following an
3 and
earthquake.
take VTR 3.
On Wednesday, a 6.9 magnitude earthquake struck the northern city of Qinghai.
Ready, camera 3,
Chinese
OTS.
state media says nearly 600 people are feared dead and at least 9,000 others were injured. Chinese officials say they are sending rescuers to airlift hundreds of injured people to hospitals in a massive aid operation.
And take it.
And volcanic
We're gonna
ash
do a
sweeps
ready to
across
live
European
pan.
skies, causing massive flight cancellations. On Wednesday, an Icelandic glacier erupted, leaving clouds of volcanic ash in the sky, causing many airports to shut down. Today, the flight cancellations continue, with 17,000 flights across Europe expected to stay
And
grounded.
pan.
And the
Ready,
burial of late
VTR1?
Polish President Lech Kaczynski is creating controversy
Wrong video.
among the nation.
Wrong video.
Polish
that's forward
authorities
more,
say a
that's right.
funeral
Okay,
for the
oh,
president
okay.
and his wife will be held
Ready,
Sunday
VTR 1,
in
roll VTR
Krakow.
1 and take it.
But the decision to bury the president in a crypt previously
Ready, camera
reserved
1.
for monarchs and saints has upset some Poles. The couple was among the 96 people killed in a plane crash Saturday in Russia.
And take camera 1.
Meanwhile,
Ready,
President
VTR
Obama
2?
and world leaders signed a new
Roll
nuclear
VTR
treaty.
2 and take VTR 2.
President Obama gathered
Ready,
with
camera 3?
49 other world
VTR
leaders
3,
in
I mean.
Washington
Ready,
this
VTR
week to
3?
discuss nuclear security. President Obama said that the purpose of the summit was to address one of the biggest threats to international
VTR 3
security,
and take
nuclear
VTR 3.
terrorism.
And because of the steps we've taken as
Ready to
individual
cue talent?
nations and as an international community, the American people will be safer and the world will be more secure.
Cue talent.
The president also urged nations to
camera one?
support sanctions against Iran's nuclear activity. International leaders have agreed to a follow-up meeting in 2 years in South Korea.
Take it.
Pope Benedict says that the
Ready,
Catholic
VTR
Church
1?
must do penance for its sins, addressing the pedophilia accusations in
Roll
the church's
VTR 1 and
priesthood.
take VTR 1.
On Thursday, the Pope made references to
Ready,
the
camera
recent sex
3,
scandals that have
OTS.
rocked the Catholic Church.
Okay.
During the Mass at the Vatican, Benedict said that the Catholic Church is under attack from the rest of the world and that Christians need to repent their sins and recognize their own mistakes.
And take it.
American families won't be able to adopt
have a
Russian
live
children
pan
for
shot.
the time being. Yesterday, Russian officials suspended further adoptions by American families until rules can be discussed with U.S. officials. Last week, an American adoptive family sent their child back to Russia on a solo transatlantic flight, saying the child was mentally unstable.
And pan.
And Defense Secretary
Ready,
Robert
VTR
Gates
2?
issues a critical report on the Fort Hood shootings that killed 13 people
Roll
last
VTR 2 and
November.
take VTR
On
2.
Thursday, the DoD said that
Ready, camera
safeguards
1.
to prevent the shooting were inadequate and that the department failed to identify the threat and prevent the shooting. Gates made 26 recommendations in his report, including better coordination with the FBI and strengthening the department's anti-terrorism training program.
And take it.
Time now to take a look at our weather.
Logan Hurley joins us
Ready
now
for
with a
fall
look at our
CG?
first forecast.
Thanks, Lisa. So let's go ahead and take a look at our first forecast.
And take CG.
It's 78 right now and only partly cloudy. We can see the high today is 79 and it's
Ready,
going to be a
Camo
cool
2?
60 degrees tonight. Humidity is 70% and winds are coming in at 2 miles per hour from the east-northeast. Should be really nice the rest of the day as well, as there's only a 10% chance of rain. And coming up a little bit later, I'll have the 5-day forecast.
Take Camo 2.
Thanks, Logan.
Ready,
Coming
VTR
up on Nightly
3,
News,
roll
a
VTR
major
3, take
insurance
VTR
company
3.
wants Toyota
Ready,
to pay
VTR
up for its
1.
faulty gas
Roll
pedals.
VTR
And
1
some local
take VTR
landscapers
1.
say they have found a solution to
Ready,
conserving the
faded black.
state's natural resources.
And faded black and take CG foam. Alright, what's the time? Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, Camo 2, get ready for bump shot.
Change.
Yep,
1 minute left.
see? Bump shot is ready.
I'm gonna have to cut the music for a second.
Okay, let's.
Change.
So when you do that, just like fade out the music. So it won't be like an above cut. Alright.
30 seconds. Change. Oh, is that okay? Wait, what just happened?
Audio.
Whatever.
CD.
10, 9,
Okay.
8,
Ready,
7,
fade to black.
6, 5, 4, 3,
Fade to black.
2, 1.
Begin your bump shot,
Now.
Camo 2. Fade up to Camo 2. Ready, Camo 1, OTS.
OTS?
And take it. Q.
A Democratic state senator wins the first U.S. House race
we're
since
gonna do,
Congress passed a
live
massive
pan
healthcare
shot.
overhaul. On Tuesday, Florida State Senator Ted Deutsch beat Republican Ed Lidge with 62% of the vote. Deutsch's win continues the party's Democratic dominance of District 19 in South Florida. Deutsch was sworn in yesterday afternoon and is replacing retiring Democratic
CG out.
Congressman
And
Robert
pan.
Wexler. Central
Ready,
Florida's real estate
VTR
market
1.
is seeing some
Wait.
positive
Roll
changes.
VTR 1, take
Reports
VTR
show
1.
that home sales are up
Ready,
in
Camo
Orlando.
1, OTS.
The average price of homes also increased by about 5% from February to March.
CG out.
Realtors say the rise is due to the fast approaching home buyer credit deadline. The tax credit gives first-time buyers a rebate of up to $8,000. The deadline to apply for the credit is April 30th.
And take it.
Meanwhile,
Ready,
as
Camo
the average
3,
price of
OTS.
homes are increasing, Orlando foreclosure rates are up again. According to Realty Track, a monthly report listing the top 10 U.S. cities with the most foreclosure court filings, Orlando jumped to 8th place. Orlando ranked 12th just last month. According to Realty Track, the U.S. has one foreclosure for every 352 houses.
And take it.
According to the Council
Ready
of
to live
Economic
pan?
Advisors, the Economic Recovery Act has created between 2.2 and 2.8 million jobs in the first quarter. It also increased the gross domestic product by about 2.7%. The CEA expects the bill to create or save 3.5 million jobs by the end of the year.
And live pan. Ready,
And
VTR
President
2.
Obama is
With?
ordering a federal review of mines with poor safety records after a West Virginia mine explosion killed 29
Roll
people
VTR
last
2
week.
and take VTR 2.
Yesterday, Mr. Obama criticized the
Ready,
owner of
Camo
the
3
Massey
OTS.
Energy mine in West Virginia
There we go.
after safety records show that the
CGL.
mine has a history of violations for not properly ventilating methane, which is a highly combustible gas. The president is ordering inspectors to check other mines with similar poor safety records.
And take it.
Meanwhile,
Ready,
the
Camo
president
1.
is aiming for a new replacement for the retiring U.S. Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens. According to the White House, the president has listed about 15 names for the position. The White House says all candidates will be subjected to a thorough analysis before any of them are
CGL.
nominated.
And take it.
Oh,
Ready,
More bad
VTR
news for
3.
troubled
Roll
automaker
VTR 3,
Toyota.
take VTR 3.
Insurance company State Farm is asking
Ready,
Toyota
camera
to
one,
repay them
OTS.
for any auto claim where acceleration is involved, which could cost Toyota
CGL?
between $20 and $30 million. Insurance authorities say that if Toyota refuses to repay State Farm, customers may have to pay higher rates for Toyotas in the future.
And take it.
In
Ready,
other news,
camera three.
6 Democrats are preparing to take on U.S. airlines if they charge passengers for carry-on bags. The senators said Wednesday they plan to hit airlines with a tax to prevent other airlines from following in Spirit's direction. On April 6th, Spirit Airlines announced it was going to charge travelers $45 for carry-on bags.
And take it. Ready,
Landscapers
VTR
and
one.
native nursery owners across Florida say they have a solution to conserving the state's resources.
With
UCF Nightly News reporter Carly Shafran tells us how native
Roll
plants
VTR one,
are the
take
answer.
VTR one.
The Association of Florida Native Nurseries, or AFNN, recently held a course on sustainable
CGL?
landscaping with Florida native
And
plants
we're going to go
and
back to
wildflowers.
camera
We're
3.
giving lectures and trying to teach people about native plants and how to use them in the landscape.
Brightman Logan is an instructor for AFNN and says the big picture is that native plants conserve Florida's natural resources.
We need plants that are sustainable in the landscape. Plants that don't freeze,
CGL.
plants that can exist on the water we have, the types of soils, the humidity that we have here. All these things are unique to Florida.
According to AFNN, Floridians use more than 50% or more of fresh water supply on plants and grasses that can't survive on their own.
All these
CGN.
plants you see here are native to Florida, especially this saw palmetto,
CGL.
which provides ecological benefits by conserving water.
Green Images Nursery in Christmas features 25 acres of native plants grown primarily for commercial landscaping. Owner and one of AFNN founders, David Driley, says the trend not only benefits the environment but makes a place like Central Florida unique.
We wanted to use wildflowers and native grasses and native flowering shrubs and landscape
CGL.
design. Because not only is it good for the wildlife, birds and butterflies, but it really, they provide a sense of place. They represent Central Florida.
Driley says the demand for native plants is up as more companies and clients inquire how these plants can reduce costs. Reporting in Orange County,
camera
Carly
three.
Shafran, UCF Nightly News.
And take it.
AFNN plans to
CG?
develop a full range of courses that complement ecosystem-based designs and native plants. To find out
Ready
more,
to live
visit their
pan?
website at www.afnn.com.
And pan.
The State Department of
OTS.
Transportation plans to build another
camera
park
two?
and ride lot in Mineola outside of Claremont. This would be the agency's 10th lot in Central Florida. Currently, Claremont has become the most popular park and ride lot in Central Florida, adding 85 spaces to the lot.
And take camera 2.
And still ahead on
Ready,
Nightly News,
VTR two,
hear what
roll
the
VTR
University
two,
of
roll
Central
VTR
Florida
two.
is doing
Ready,
to help the
VTR
long-term
three.
recovery in Haiti
Roll
following
VTR
a deadly
3
earthquake.
and take VTR 3.
And one Central Florida community gives teens a new
Ready,
meeting
faded
place
black,
to call their own.
And faded black and fade up audio and CG. Doing good, doing good. Alright, camera 2, get ready to the site.
Okay. One minute. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. That we want the shot for camera 2.
Yeah, that looks good.
30 seconds. Eric, Steven, tell Erica to come here.
Hey, Isaiah, remember to call anyone for the weather.
Yeah.
15,
And then Jill, anyone. 15.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Ready, faded
4,
black.
3,
Faded
2,
black, fade up
1.
camera 1 and take it.
And now let's take a look at our weather.
Ready,
Logan
Emmy?
Hurley-Heed joins us now. Logan, how's the weather looking across the
And
state?
take Emmy.
Thanks, Raquel. Things are looking great. We can see up in Tallahassee, it's a beautiful day, 83 degrees. Over here in Jacksonville, we're looking at about 79. 79 in Orlando as well. It should be clear the rest of the day. Over here in Tampa, we're looking at about 83. And then down in Miami, a little bit cooler than usual at 78 degrees. Let's take a look at our national temperature map. We can see over on the west coast, all the way from California to about Utah, we're looking at really nice spring temperatures, 60s and 70s.
Going back to
And then as we
chemistry.
move to the central region here from Texas all the way down to the Midwest, you can see a little bit cooler, still about 60. And then over in the southeast here, we're looking at really nice temperatures, 70s and 80s, getting ready for summer. Let's take a look at our national precipitation map. Again, we can see over on the west coast, there's a little bit of a front moving in over Nevada and Utah. And then in the middle here, we can see this big front moving down from Kansas and Nebraska, making its way down towards Texas. Over on the east coast, really not too much action unless you're looking up here in the upper northeast. So time to take a look at our 5-day forecast. The weather's staying pretty consistent this week, highs around the low 80s and lows in the 60s. It's looking like we could be seeing some rain sometime this week, anytime after Sunday. So if you're planning on going out, make sure you bring that umbrella with you. That's all the time we have for now. Back to Raquel and Lisa at the desk.
And take.
Thank you, Logan.
Ready,
UCF
VTR1.
is setting long-term goals to assist with Haiti's recovery from a devastating
VTR1,
earthquake.
take VTR1.
Yesterday, the UCF Global Perspectives
VTR2.
Office hosted a public forum to discuss Haiti's future. Earlier, UCF's Task Force HOPE also reached out to the Haitian student population with discussion, song, and dance. Fedora Filippo is on the Haitian Task Force and thinks that it's important not to forget about Haiti or the Haitian
VTR2
community.
and take it. Ready to cue talent?
CG out.
Everyone was sitting around the table and saying, what can we do to help the students now? What can we do to show the Haitian community here at UCF that we care and that we haven't forgotten them?
Cue talent.
Those at the forum want students to know that the Haitian recovery effort will continue for years to come.
Ready, camera
Visit
one?
Task Force HOPE's website to find out how you can help.
And take camera 1.
CG out.
Driving through
Ready,
downtown
VTR
Orlando
three.
is about to get a
Roll
little bit
VTR3,
easier.
take VTR3.
The city of Orlando will begin
CGN.
installing
Ready, camera one.
sensors and cameras to
CGN.
better operate the flow of traffic. Currently, if there's heavy traffic,
CG
an
out.
officer must manually change the lights, but after installing the new system, it can be done with the click of a mouse. Work starts next month and will cover 83 red lights between Colonial Drive and South Street and Huey and Rosalind Avenue.
Take camera 1.
Avalon Park in
Ready,
East
VTR1.
Orlando is giving
Roll
teens a
VTR1,
place of their
take
own.
VTR1.
The Avalon Park Property Owners Association
VTR2.
donated the space as a safe place for teens to gather after school. Currently, the Teen Club meets Wednesdays at
CG out.
1:30, where they focus on community service projects and social events. The president and vice president of the club say they're excited about the new club's potential.
Roll VTR2 and take VTR2.
We want to make a whole bunch of different types of
Ready to
events
cue
that
talent?
we
CG out.
participating in. It's a good business
CG in.
because you partner with people and make events,
CG out.
meetings. It's nice.
Cue talent.
The center is
Ready,
set to
camera
open
3.
this summer.
Take camera 3.
And still
Ready,
ahead on
VTR3,
Nightly News,
roll
the
VTR3,
UCF
take
baseball
VTR3.
team takes on Rice
Ready,
in a
VTR1,
three-game
roll
series for the #1
VTR1,
spot
take
in Conference
VTR1.
USA.
And find out how the UCF football team is
Ready,
preparing
fade to
for its
black.
spring football game this Saturday.
Fade up black and fade up CG fall.
There's 6 minutes of good time. Cameron, you go down.
Yeah. And camera 2,
Okay.
zoom up just a little bit on him. A little bit more. There you go. And put him in the middle. There you go.
1 minute.
Hey, what VTR sports opening playing?
It's opening on 3.
Okay.
3, yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Nice tape. Yeah, get all your tapes in, please. Okay, VTR1, VTR2, okay.
30 seconds.
Thank you.
Okay.
Looks like we are all ready. Hi, Pedro. Get ready. too.
Is that
There
the
we go.
last one you have? Yes.
Okay,
Alright,
cool.
so
Let's
it's
just
staying
delete
here.
that.
15. 10, 9,
Ready,
8,
fade to black.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Fade to black.
2,
Ready, VTR
1.
three. Go VTR 3. Take VTR 3. Ready and me. That was the first song.
It's going to be a win when you go to the camera.
Take him in.
Good afternoon, I'm
Live
Pedro
pan
Silva and welcome to
OTS.
UCF Sports.
CG
Right now.
out.
The
Pan.
Orlando Magic get ready for the playoffs as they face the
Pan.
Charlotte Bobcats
Pan.
this Sunday.
Ready, VTR 1.
The Magic
Go
ended their
VTR
regular
1.
season on a
Take
good
VTR
note by
Uh,
beating the
change it to the
Philadelphia
CG that says
76ers
playoffs time.
with a score of 125 to 111. With the win, the Magic
Ready,
captured the
VTR 2.
second best record in the league with 59
CG
wins
out.
and 23 losses. Coach Stan Van Gundy says he is confident
We're
that
gonna
his
wipe.
team will do well in the playoffs.
Go VTR 2. Take it.
CG in.
I think we've got a roster where all 12 guys
Ready to cue talent.
contributed significantly
CG out.
to multiple wins and against good teams.
Cue talent.
Tip-off against the Bobcats
We're
is
going
at
up to an
5:30 at the
OTS. First
Amway
break.
Arena.
Gonna be
Ready
a
and the
win.
OTS and
The
take it.
baseball team is in a fight for first place
OTS
this
in.
weekend.
CG.
The team is coming
Right.
off a big 10-6
VTR
win
3.
over in-state rival Stetson on
Go
Tuesday.
VTR 3.
CG
Take
out.
The
VTR
win
3.
improved the Knights to 23-12
Ready to
overall
wipe.
as they prepare for
CG
conference
in.
rival Rice. A
CG
strong
in.
series against the Owls this weekend could potentially put UCF in
CG
first
out.
place in Conference USA. The first of the three-game series gets underway tomorrow at 6:30.
Go VTR 1 and wipe
UCF
to VTR
softball
1.
team is getting ready for a three-game series against Alabama Birmingham this weekend.
Ready
The
and
Lady
the
Knights practice
OTS.
this weekend in preparation for the conference matchup. They look to build on their conference momentum
CG
after
out.
coming off a three-game sweep against Marshall last weekend. The
OTS
first game of
conference.
Saturday's
Point in
doubleheader
with a
starts at
OTS.
2 p.m.
And take it.
And the
Ready,
men's tennis
VTR
team is
2.
hoping to make a splash at next week's Conference USA
Go
tournament.
CG
VTR
out.
2
The
and
men
take
are
it.
coming off a dominating victory over in-state
VTR2.
rival
CG
Embry
out.
Riddle.
Out.
The team shut out the local foe and commanded
to
games
wipe
in
to
both
Yeah,
singles
UCF
and
versus
doubles.
CG in.
The Knights have a week to
Ready
practice
to wipe
before
to
heading to
VTR3.
Houston for
CG
next
out.
week's Conference USA tournament.
Wipe to VTR 3.
And the UCF women's tennis team is
Take,
home this
yep.
weekend hosting East
CG
Carolina.
in.
The women are looking to
Ready
come
for
back with a
ME
win after they
OTS?
lost to Florida International
CG
last
out.
Saturday. The team's record is now 11-6 for the season. The
Going
Knights will
in
play
with
East
it.
Carolina on Saturday at 10 a.m.
And take it.
The women's tracks team heads
Ready,
to Gainesville this
VTR1?
weekend for the Florida
Go
Invitational.
CG
VTR
out.
1.
The
Take
team
VTR
practiced
1.
this week in preparation for the all-day event on Saturday. The
CG
tournament pits
in.
UCF against teams from all over the state
Ready,
of Florida,
ME
including UF,
CG out.
FSU,
Just
and
remember to get
Miami.
background
The
A
event
after
kicks
you
off
take,
early Saturday morning
thing
and
with the
concludes
CG.
early
Going-
in the
okay.
evening.
And take it.
And the UCF football team
Ready,
is gearing up for
VTR2?
this annual spring game
Go
this Saturday.
out.
VTR 2. Take
The men
VTR 2.
practice on Wednesday as this year's spring practice schedule came to a close.
Hit background
The
A
off-season workouts
Let's
reached their
bring that nice
conclusion
practice
every
back.
year with the
Ready,
black and
regular
gold
shot.
spring game. The game
Middle.
gives fans a preview
There
of
you
what to expect in the upcoming season. Kickoff is at 1 p.m.
Take it.
And that's all we have for sports.
Ready,
Back to
camera
Raquel
one.
and Lisa at the desk.
And take camera 1.
Thanks, Pedro. It's time to take one more look
Ready,
at
CG
weather.
phone?
Logan Hurley joins us now with a look at our final forecast.
And Kim.
Well, what we're looking at this week, like I said, we're going to be mostly in the 80s, a low on Monday of 76,
Ready, camera
with the
3?
lowest temp going down to 63 this week on Wednesday. Just make sure if you're going out anytime after Sunday that you're going to have that umbrella with you because we should expect some scattered showers Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. You're looking at percentage chances of rain at 30, 40, and 30%
1 minute
respectively.
left.
1
So
minute.
that's a look at our 5-day forecast.
Thanks, Logan. And that's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us.
If you have a story idea or a comment about something you've seen here on Nightly News, email us at nightlynews@mail.ucf.edu.
And you can check us out online at nightlynews.ucf.edu. Join us here
Ready
again
to roll
next week.
credits?
Until then, have a great weekend,
credits.
everybody.
Get the music.
Okay. Camera 2. Do like a slow zoom in.
30
Ready,
seconds.
camera 2. Take camera 2. Take camera 2.
Take 2.
Okay, there we go. Camera 1, if you want to do something, you know, make it snappy, go for it. Zoom out, camera 1. Just do slow zoom out.
15.
Take camera 1. Zoom Time camera 1.
10, 9, 8, 7,
And
Fade
fade
6,
camera.
5, 4, 3, 2,
And fade out graphic.
1.